The economy of South Africa is a mixed economy, emerging market, and upper middle income economy, one of only 8 such countries in Africa. The economy is the most industrialized, technologically advanced, and diversified economy in Africa. Following 1996, at the end of over 12 years of international sanctions, South Africa's nominal gross domestic product, GDP, almost tripled to a peak of $416 billion in 2011. In the same period, foreign exchange reserves increased from $3 billion to nearly $50 billion, creating a diversified economy with a growing and sizable middle class, within 3 decades of ending apartheid. Although the natural resource extraction industry remains one of the largest in the country with an annual contribution to the GDP of $13.5 billion, the economy of South Africa has diversified since the end of apartheid, particularly towards services. In 2019, the financial industry contributed $41.4 billion to South Africa's GDP. In 2021, South Africa-based financial institutions managed more than $1.41 trillion in assets. The total market capitalization of the Johannesburg Stock Exchange is $1.28 trillion as of October 2021. The state-owned enterprises of South Africa play a significant role in the country's economy, with the government owning a share in around 700 SOEs involved in a wide array of important industries. In 2016, according to business executives, the top 5 challenges to doing business in the country were inefficient government bureaucracy, restrictive labor regulations, a shortage of skilled workers for some high-tech industries, political instability, and corruption. On the other hand, the country's banking sector was rated as a strongly positive feature of the economy. The nation is among the G20, and is the only African country that is a permanent member of the group. Kindly subscribe to our channel. The formal economy of South Africa has its beginnings in the arrival of Dutch settlers in 1652, originally sent by the Dutch East India Company to establish a provisioning station for passing ships. As the colony increased in size, with the arrival of Huguenots and German colonists, some of the colonists were set free to pursue commercial farming, leading to the dominance of agriculture in the economy. At the end of the 18th century, the British annexed the colony. This led to the Great Trek, spreading farming deeper into the mainland, as well as the establishment of the independent Afrikaner republics of the Transvaal and the Orange Free State. In 1870 diamonds were discovered in Kimberley, while in 1886 some of the world's largest gold deposits were discovered in the Witwatersrand region of Transvaal, quickly transforming the economy into a resource-dominated one. The British annexed the area as a result of the Second Boer War, which saw the deployment of scorched earth tactics against Boer non-combatants. South Africa also entered a period of industrialization during this time, including the organization of the first South African trade unions. The country soon started putting laws distinguishing between different races in place. In 1948 the National Party won the national elections, and immediately started implementing an even stricter race-based policy named apartheid, in an attempt to shelter the original white society from a never-ending increase in the black population. The policy was widely criticized and led to crippling sanctions being placed against the country in the 1980s. South Africa held its first non-restricted racial elections in 1994, leaving the newly all-African elected African National Congress, ANC, government the daunting task of trying to restore order to an economy harmed by sanctions, while also integrating the previously disadvantaged segment of the population into it. The government refrained from resorting to economic populism. Inflation was brought down, public finances were stabilized, and some foreign capital was attracted. However, growth was still subpar. At the start of 2000, then-President Thabo Mbeki vowed to promote economic growth and foreign investment by relaxing restrictive labor laws, stepping up the pace of privatization, raising governmental spending and cutting interest rates sharply from 1998 levels. His policies faced strong opposition from organized labor. From 2004 onward economic growth picked up significantly, both employment and capital formation increased. South Africa, unlike other emerging markets, has struggled through the late 2000s recession, and the recovery has been largely led by private and public consumption growth, while export volumes and private investment have yet to fully recover. The high levels of unemployment, at over 25%, and inequality are considered by the government and most South Africans to be the most salient economic problems facing the country. These issues, and others linked to them such as crime, have in turn hurt investment and growth, consequently having a negative feedback effect on employment. Crime is considered a major or very severe constraint on investment by 30% of enterprises in South Africa, putting crime among the four most frequently mentioned constraints. In April 2017, political tensions in the country arose over the sacking of 9 cabinet members including Minister of Finance Pravin Gordhan by the President Jacob Zuma. The finance minister was seen as central to efforts to restore confidence in South Africa. As a result of the tensions, S&P Global cut South Africa's credit rating to junk status on Monday, April 3, 2017. Fitch Ratings followed suit on Friday, April 7, 2017 and cut the country's credit status to the sub-investment grade of BBB. The South African rand lost more than 11% in the week following the cabinet reshuffling. Still, South Africa is the most industrialized African country. Kindly subscribe to our channel.